Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. Today we're going to be changing the spark plug on a Troy Bilt Storm 2620 26-inch snowblower with a 208cc engine. The tools that you're going to need to do this project, we're going to need obviously a spark plug for my 208cc engine. The MTD part number is 951-10292. There's also a secondary part number, but for my engine it was the 951. That was the correct part number. This was available from a local big box store. We're also going to need a set of feeler gauges. According to the engine and the manual for the engine of my snowblower, the correct gap on the spark plug should be 0.03 inches. So I got a feeler gauge here set to 0.03 inches. I'm also going to need a 13/16 spark plug socket. You may want a universal joint. You'll definitely need an extension bar and obviously a ratchet to be able to tighten things up. So that's the parts. So now let's get started over at the snowblower. Okay, at the snowblower, on the left side of the snowblower, we've got the exhaust port here, and then right behind the exhaust is the spark plug wire. So we're going to start by pulling off the spark plug boot. And it might take a little bit of force. It comes right off. It is an angle. It has a slight angle to it. We'll set that aside, and then you'll be able to see the spark plug in there. And so the way I've got my wrench set up here is I've got my 13/16 spark plug socket attached to a universal joint, an extension rod, and then my ratchet. After I've got it broken loose, the spark plug comes out just like that. And now if I pull the spark plug out, I can look at the spark plug here and look at the condition that it's in. It actually doesn't look too bad. Although the gap might be a little large. I'll check that over at the bench here in just a second. So now over at the workbench here, we've got the old spark plug that we just pulled out there on the left. Here on the right is our new spark plug. And if we look at these side by side, we'll be able to see a distinct difference between the two. The bottom of our new spark plug, you can obviously see the ceramic end on that. And we can see our electrode. And so if you compare these two side by side, it's pretty easy to tell which one is used and which one is the brand new one. So with the brand new one here, and our 0.3 feeler gauge, there we go. Now we got our gap, just like we need. So at this point, you can go ahead and go like this, or optionally, you could add a little bit of anti-seize compound on there. I didn't show that in the parts list, but I'm going to do that anyway since I happen to have anti-seize compound in my shop. So now with my spark plug out, I'm going to use a little bit of my anti-seize to coat the threads here. This will keep the spark plug from jamming up in the future. I got about 3 years worth of use out of the old spark plug, probably a little longer than what I should have. The manufacturer recommends changing it every year, which I think might be a little excessive. But my snowblower is acting up. In terms of starting, it wouldn't hold the throttle the way that it should hold the throttle open without it dying. So with a little bit of anti-seize on the end of the threads, and with the spark plug gapped, I'm going to take it back over the snowblower and set it in by just dropping the spark plug back into the spark plug socket, like that, so then I can go straight into the engine. Back at the snowblower here, I've got the spark plug in my socket set up here. I'm just going to put this right back into the spark plug socket where I took it out of. And I'm just going to start with this getting hand tight. I can just spin this by hand here before going to the ratchet. I'm just going to get this nice and snug, about there, and we'll go ahead and pull that off. Looks like my spark plug socket got stuck, so I'm going to grab a pair of pliers to get the spark plug socket off. The little rubber boot in the socket got jammed around the socket. around the spark plugs. Use a pair of pliers here to remove the socket. And actually, funny here, my rubber boot from inside my spark plug socket looks like it came off, so we'll have to pull that off the spark plug as well. There we go, and a rubber boot from our spark plug socket is off. Our spark plug is all set in there. Now it's a matter of taking the electrode from the wire and then just snapping that back into place. You want to seat nice and firmly over the top of the spark plug, and then we should be in good shape. So now to find out if this is sounding right, we're now going to start up the snowblower. Prime the engine, put it in choke. And after listening to it run there for a little bit, I could tell it's a success. It's already working fine at full throttle, so I consider this a success, and I hope this helps you if you're having troubles with your throttle running on your Troy Bilt or other MTD snowblower. Have a great day. Bye.